In this video we're going to be learning how to set up the CNC lathe. To do the lathe setup you will need your part plans, the setup steps, a piece of material cut several inches longer than you need, a dial caliper, a micrometer, a 1/2 inch gauge block, a 1/1000th thickness gauge, and something to write with. To start up the machine, flip the power button. It's a red dial on the left hand side of the machine. I'm now going to twist the red E-stop button and press start, and this will boot the controller. The first step for your setup is going to be to perform what's called a machine zero. This is going to bring the machine back to its 00 location. To do that, I'm going to press machine zero on the controller. I'm going to do the X-axis first, so I press the X arrow pointed downward, and once all movement ceases, I will press the Z right-handed arrow, and you can hear the machine moving in the background. The machine will then move to home position. Next, I'm going to place the material in the chuck. I've cut my material several inches longer than I need. I'm going to slip it into the chuck, and I'm now going to use my dial indicator. I'm going to set my dial indicator about 1 inch or 2 longer than the part. In this case, my part is about 2 inches long, not quite, so I'll set my dial indicator for 3 inches. And I'm going to use the depth portion of the dial caliper up against the face of the chuck keys. Then I'm going to lock in the piece of material. Always remove the chuck key after locking in the material. My next step is I'm going to load in the program. I'm going to press the program button 3 times to enter what's called the program list window. The window is always listed in the top left-hand corner of the screen. I'm now going to use the arrow keys to highlight the file that I'm going to load. In this case, I'm loading file O0002. Once I have my file highlighted, I press the EOB key for end of block, and it will go ahead and load that file. We're now going to clear all previous workpiece coordinates. I'm going to press the program button another 3 times to enter the program state window. I'm now going to move my tool carriage into position somewhere around my material. To do this, I press manual, and now I can use the X and Z arrow keys to move my tool carriage. I want to make sure that I keep my tooling a safe distance away from the material. Now back to our controller. In the program state window, I'm going to clear all offsets. I'm going to do that by pressing the MDI key, and I'm going to enter T0100, U0, W0. Press data input, cycle start. Now you just heard the tool turret rotate. If you are not on tool number 1, the tool turret will automatically rotate to tool number 1. Now that I've cleared the previous offsets, I'm going to need to program new offsets for both the tool and 00 on the workpiece. Get some light. To do this, we're going to use the MPG hand wheel to move our tooling. So if I press MPG on the controller and then I press a direction such as X and a value, I'm going to use the times 100 on the controller. As I move my hand wheel, you should see the tool carriage moving in the left-hand side of your screen. If I press Z, I will move the carriage left and right. By pressing times 10, my movements become very gradual. It's 1/1000th of an inch per click of the MPG hand wheel. Never press times 1000. It will overstep and move incredibly rapidly. So I'm going to use times 100 to get myself into a rough position, and I'm going to use times 10 to get myself in close. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to face this part.